Folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here today with a review of Impact Wrestling's Slammiversary. This show just went off the air. You guys will be getting all the live coverage from me. If you are in the chat, I want to hear your thoughts. Also, if this is your first time watching, you like what you see, click the subscribe button. You see down below, we have our goal for SummerSlam. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers. We've been putting out good content, and I think we should be well above that. And I hope to see us get above that. And also, if you guys come in here, make sure you like the video as well. Helps more people see it. Helps with that YouTube algorithm. But other than that, let us get into Impact Wrestling's Slammiversary. The show took place in Dallas, Texas tonight. Started at 8 p.m. Could have watched it on Fight TV. Connor, what's going on? I see you in the live chat. We are seeing a lot of good things here. Now, the importance of this show tonight to me was weighing heavily upon potentially getting a deal with AXS TV. We've heard rumors that Impact Wrestling may be going to AXS TV. They've been liking New Japan Pro Wrestling, so it's been rumored that they want more wrestling on their channel. Impact Wrestling's looking for a new home. Why not? We could see a potential new home for Impact Wrestling. So I felt this show had to deliver because Mark Cuban does a lot of business in Dallas, and I thought maybe the two would happen. So we're relying on rumors for that. First match we had of the night, we had TJ Perkins, the returning TJP. He was going into a four-way match with Jake Crist, Trey, Miguel, and Willie Mack. This match was absolutely cool with four guys in here. And one of the things I love about Impact still is that I get to see some of the guys from Lucha Underground who I really enjoyed. You get some guys from New Japan in here. You just see people from all over the place, and I absolutely like the diversity and talent. I know when people see things on paper, they're wondering who some of these guys are, but if you actually go out of your way to watch this, you'll see a lot of good talent here. So in this match, we saw that these guys are just flying all over the place. TJP has been having some amazing matches with Ace on Impact Wrestling. If you guys have not checked it out on Twitch, make sure you guys do that as well. Though for this match, we had a lot of stuff happening. Willie Mack ends up picking up the victory, but how does he do it? Jake Crist hits a cutter off the top rope on Trey Miguel. Trey is knocked out, laid out, and then after that happens, Willie Mack hits a big frog splash off the top rope for the 1, 2, 3. It was absolutely amazing. Willie Mack did a really good job in this one. Definitely deserved it. Hubbard, what is going on? Hubbard is saying this was a great show. Tessa could be the best in the world as a female competitor. Hubbard, we will get to her. But absolutely. And she has the best theme song to me in Impact Wrestling as well. Absolutely my favorite. So Melissa Santos is backstage interviewing the North. Now, if you guys have not been keeping up with Impact Wrestling, the North won the tag team titles on the last episode from Impact Wrestling. We see highlights of it, and Melissa Santos from Lucha Underground is asking about, is this an upset victory? Are a lot of people saying, hey, this was an upset? The North did not like that at all. They took it as disrespect, and they said that they're going to go out here tonight to prove to everybody why it was. And in my preview for this on the podcast, I definitely brought up some things about the Impact Tag Team titles and how this match could steal the show potentially. And LAX, the North, and the Rascalz being in this, you couldn't go wrong. Now, during this match, people are flying all over the place. We have phenomenal action. I absolutely loved it. The sad part in this match is we saw the dreaded X sign thrown up that you never want to see because that means somebody got hurt. Santana from LAX, who I believe for a couple weeks he was battling some ACL injuries, and I'm not saying that's confirmed as what it is, but I believe he re-injured that knee that had the ACL problems. A fan on Twitter put that he landed very funny after a move, rolled out onto the apron, and they kind of told him get off the apron or the rampway there that they had and roll down to the ground. And Santana looks like he is hurt really bad, and hopefully he didn't injure himself too badly. I never want to see someone get injured. And there were rumors going into this that LAX may be going to NXT, AEW. Maybe they're going to open up their contracts and see who's going to offer them some more money. That looks like it could be changing plans right now because of this injury. Never good news to have an injury come up during a time like this. This match kind of fell apart because of that injury too. It looked like some confusion was happening. It was tornado style. Basically, everybody was in the ring at the same time. And in the end, the North ended up picking up the victory in a match that I thought could have been better. The Willie Mack match I gave a C+ to, guys, and this match I'm giving a grade of a C, but I do not, there's an asterisk kind of next to this one. I do not blame any of the competitors in the match. It just didn't turn out good because of an injury. I think if everybody was healthy, this match would have gotten real lit, but they just did not have the opportunity to. Next, we get to the third match on the card. It is a first blood match. You don't hear that too often anymore in wrestling. A first blood match with Killer Kross and Eddie Edwards. Dang, man. We've been talking about chair shots to the head, and that's all because of the Cody Rhodes AEW stuff. And in this match, we saw a sick chair throw to the head by Eddie Edwards on Killer Kross. That looked brutal. I don't know how people feel about that versus chair shots, but we saw some good brutality in this match. These guys were on the floor battling. Killer Kross came out with some sweet face paint on. Killer Kross is a star, man. I hope Impact Wrestling realizes that. This kid needs to be in more main event and high profile matches. I really think that this guy is offering something good. And to say something good about Eddie Edwards, I appreciate that Eddie Edwards, from his Ring of Honor days, we know he's a technical wrestler and he can do a bunch of stuff. But Eddie Edwards has also changed his style so he can wrestle longer. Very smart of him to go more towards this hardcore Tommy Dreamer-esque style, so I like it. Hubbard says Santana's injury looked legit. If he's out for an extended amount of time, what does that mean for Ortiz? Hubbard, I really feel like they're in a bad place, Sean. I really don't think that they're going to be able to... I don't think they're going to be able to make a lot of these power moves that they wanted to. This may leave them in Impact a little bit longer. Impact has been very good to LAX too. They may go do some indie scenes at House of Glory. Maybe this doesn't hurt a thing and they've already signed deals. We don't know what's going to happen with it. It's up in the air. But back to this first blood match. Like I said, we saw a chair shot, a chair throw to the head. These guys were all over the ring. They had a great video package for this too, about breaking the kendo stick. Eddie Edwards is using the kendo stick in the match several times. They do cover-ups. The ref can't see who's bleeding, and they're covering their heads because they don't know if they're bleeding or not. I like that. And eventually, Eddie Edwards uses the broken kendo stick and puts it inside of Killer Kross's mouth to where he starts bleeding from his mouth. Absolutely a unique ending for that match. I thought that they played it up very well. The blood, sure, it may come off as fake or whatever, but I like the story that they were telling here. And Killer Kross has been a gruesome guy. We saw him drink from a goblet and have blood and everything in his mouth before, so it worked with the story they were telling. I was cool with this. I give this a B-. I thought they did a good job with what they had to work with in this match. It was announced at this point that Tessa, Blanchard, and Sami Callihan would be the main event. That came off as a shock to me. I really thought that the match in the background would be the main event for the Impact World title. But Tessa and Sami have stolen the show the past few weeks, so I cannot blame Impact for putting that on. Brutality is a beautiful part of wrestling. Those that complained about the chair shot would not have seen Slammy 17 or any Killer Kross match. King KDI, I can agree with that. I don't have a problem with that the brutality in wrestling. I just don't want to see people get injuries to their head, the CTE and stuff like that. I mean, it's 50-50, man, because I grew up on chair shots to the head. I'm an older wrestling fan, so I can agree with that. But thank you, KDI, for coming in here and checking stuff out. If you guys like it, like I said, don't forget to click subscribe. Your name will probably pop up somewhere on this video too. So thank you guys so much for that. Good point, KDI. Now, we had RVD interviewed in the back. RVD, he looked a little blown up in this. Some people thought RVD maybe past the Dutchie, but whatever. RVD goes out and he does his thing. RVD is still in really good shape for his age. Rob Van Dam's doing this thing, man. He can still do most of the moves that he used to be able to do, even if it's at a slower pace. So nothing but respect to RVD for this one. But it's RVD versus Moose. Moose has been doing his thing in this one. Moose is trying to portray himself as a star. It seems like Moose is all in on Impact Wrestling, doing all of the things that are right to do when you're with a company. So I give Moose credit. And everybody came into this thinking RVD was going to have a run like he did in 2010 when he came into TNA. He kind of ran through everybody. He was a dominant world champion. But this was a little bit different. RVD's older now. Moose is the up-and-coming star. Can Moose do it? Because last year he was challenging for the title, and look where he is now. So Moose in this match ends up hitting a dirty low blow. He goes to the outside, grabs a steel chair. When is it ever a good idea to bring a steel chair into a match with Rob Van Dam? The answer is never. Rob Van Dam hits his kick right to his face. A nice Van Daminator. Moose eats that bad boy. And when Rob Van Dam thinks things are okay and all clear, he goes for a 5-star frog splash. But Moose moved out of the way. Van Dam lands on top of the chair. And Moose hits his spear, a.k.a. no jackhammer needed. And Moose picks up a much-needed victory in this match. He used some heel tactics, low blows and stuff. But Moose picks up a clean win over Rob Van Dam. I thought he needed it. It was the right move. I definitely predicted that Rob Van Dam was going to get the win. So we will definitely do that. RVD is awesome for his age, Hubbard says. Keywords for his age. Jericho is the only older guy in the industry who seems ageless. That is true. Jesus, don't get banned. What's going on, Jesus? This match I give a C+ to, though. I thought they did a really good job in this one. It exceeded my expectations. I thought this was the best Rob Van Dam has looked since returning to Impact Wrestling. Good stuff here. Rob Van Dam did the right thing. Moose needed that victory. Props to Rob Van Dam for that match. Now, we get to the Knockouts title, which was defended in a Monsters Ball match. Man, ooh, King KDI comes back. He says, Jericho, I raised you a Jushin Liger. Respect, KDI. Jushin Thunder Liger is one of my favorites, bro. Absolutely. We get into the Knockouts title match, though, the Monsters Ball match. In this match, we had Taya, Valkyrie, Rosemary, Su Yung, and Havok. So this match, boy, this to me, King KDI, thank you for subscribing, good sir. Jesus says he's got something better. Go ahead, Jesus, bring it in the chat. We have these 4 ladies in here. This is where the card started to pick up for me. And they structured this card very well. Minus that injury that happened in the tag title match, which absolutely sucked. I hope Santana gets well, man. That sucks. Hold on. King KDI says Moose needed the win, and I am hoping that Impact are rebuilding him up since they seem to be needing more top heels. King, I agree with that. Liger is great for his age, agree, but Y2J is potential current world champion in a major promotion. I'd have to give it the nod to Jericho. Much respect to Liger, though. Okay, Sean, I could agree with that. Connor says this Monsters Ball match was good for what it was. Jesus says LAX better leave. Connor, let's get into this Monsters Ball match, shall we? I thought this is where everything started to pick up for Impact Wrestling tonight. They did an excellent job in this match, showcasing all of the ladies and what they are good for and what they are known for. Let me start first. I hate the Tower of Doom, and this is going to be a rare moment that you guys will hear me give props to a Tower of Doom spot. But in this match, these ladies had cookie sheets, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, and they laid them across the ladder, and you knew a big spot was coming. So they set up a Tower of Doom with the suplex, and I think it was Rosemary who ate it. Rosemary eats this suplex on top of a ladder. Much props to her. I think Taya Valkyrie did she had like the German hooked underneath. They did a really good job with that. It looked absolutely brutal. Connor says he thinks they told a good story in this match. I think so too. At one point we started seeing thumbtacks brought into the ring, and Rosemary got curb stomped by Taya Valkyrie into the thumbtacks. Brutal stuff. Taya, Havok, Su Yung, they all start getting into this fight. Havok and Su Yung had an alliance before this, and that alliance was broken up. They begin to fight. Father James Mitchell gets up and he's trying to restore order, but he ends up getting misted in the face by accident through all of this. He goes down to the floor, red mist all over his face from Su Yung, and down and out. Havok hits a tombstone off the top rope into thumbtacks on Su Yung. Freaking disgusting. Su Yung had the mandible claw on first, and then they set this spot up to where you're like, oh, something's going to happen to Su Yung. Tombstone through. Havok has the pen. I think it's over. It's 1, 2. A chair comes flying from Taya Valkyrie into Havok's face. Jessicka Havok goes out of the ring. She rolls out, and Taya comes in for the pen. Taya Valkyrie gets the 1, 2, 3. She retains her women's championship, or the Impact Knockouts championship. Taya Valkyrie is tremendous. One of the best. I'm glad to see her getting her just due. I always appreciated her work in Lucha Underground, and I was happy with this match. I think all 4 women busted their ass, and they deserve credit for this. So I give this a grade of a B+. Are both the Havocs related? Connor, absolutely not. Jessicka Havok just happens to have that name, and same thing with Jimmy Havok. All right, next up, we have an X Division title match with Rich Swann versus Johnny Impact with Johnny Bravo in his corner. They do a great job telling a story, and backstage, if you guys didn't catch the little tongue-in-cheek, they're talking about Slammiversary, and here comes Johnny Impact talking about, well, I'm the mayor of Slamtown, and they get into this whole thing about it, and they start talking about All Night Long. Rich Swann used to come out to that song on the Indies, you guys know, All Night Long by Lionel Richie. So these guys end up going back and forth out there. This was a hell of a match. Johnny Impact had earned a title shot previously for the X Division title, and he was sitting on it for a little bit, and now he has this title match, his moment with Rich Swann. And the question is Rich Swann a paper champion here? Oops, hold on. We're going back before we start into this one. King KDI says, about LAX, have they been with Impact too long? I mean, how does anyone miss them if they won't go away? Jim Cornette. I hope they go to MLW. King KDI, I think the point here is that LAX has options. Hubbard says, Taya Valkyrie upped her game tonight, in-ring and character. She's better than I thought originally. I always liked her, even in Impact, man. Or, I'm sorry, in Lucha Underground. She's really good. And I've heard some of her matches in AAA and stuff have been brutal as well. So big shout out to Taya Valkyrie. So back to Rich Swann, Johnny Impact. These two show off in this match. Big moves, selling, and even their in-ring psychology by using the ring as a vantage point in the match. At one point, they had Bravo doing a distraction by using the thumbtacks that were outside and throwing them into the ring so the ref has to knock them out. Bravo puts Rich Swann on the ropes and drags him across the ropes, giving him rope burn in a spot where you probably don't want it. And they tell a good story in this match of Rich Swann getting the beat down and how is he going to make his comeback to get the win here. And I have to say this too. If you guys have been watching the past Impact pay-per-views, I feel that Johnny Impact has better chemistry with Rich Swann than he did with Brian Cage. I don't know what was up with the Cage matches, if maybe they put too much pressure on themselves or what, but those matches didn't turn out as good as I thought they would be. They were average, but I expected something really great out of them. I think this match with Rich Swann was better than any of the matches they had, and that's saying something. Rich Swann went out here and they did their thing. At one point, we saw the Starship Pain hit, and it's 1, 2. Rich Swann is able to kick out in this match. He absolutely does his thing. He gets up, and eventually we see Rich Swann land a combo and flurry of kicks like something we've never seen before. He does several kicks across the face. I believe it was like 7 or 8. And then he does 2 springboard off the rope cutters back to back twice. After he does that, Rich Swann figures out a way to get to the top rope, hit a Phoenix Splash, and get the 1, 2, 3. Rich Swann retains his X Division Championship. I thought it was super dope. This match, to me, easily gets a B+. Really good stuff here by both guys. And I thought it was... They were promoting it like it was a match of the year. Pump your brakes on that, Impact. But a top 20 match, I think you can debate it being in there. Let's see here. Tonight's show had the formula that they should have had in 2010 when they challenged the WWE on Monday nights. They had major talents then. Sadly, now they are doing it the right way with lesser talent. King KDI says Rich Swann has gotten much better as a worker and was really pleased this match, and they're actually using psychology. I can agree with that. But I salute Impact for a great show. They proved to know how to improve and hopefully maintain their momentum. P.S. Great idea promoting Bound for Glory months in advance to build anticipation. Agree, Sean. They can rebuild. There's always more talent in the pool to bring up and use. That is true as well, but eventually that talent starts to run out when you become the place to find them. We'll get into that at the end if you guys want for a second. Let's get to the World Championship match. We have Brian Cage versus Michael Elgin. And these are just two big hosses, man, in there. And they're the two guys behind me in the video here. If I could probably do that, maybe it's better. But these guys are big dudes. Early on in this match, we saw Brian Cage fly over the top rope. Many of you may not know this, but Brian Cage at one point was in FCW as a light heavyweight or cruiserweight. Brian Cage can fly, man. And he flew out on Michael Elgin in this match. They did a lot of good stuff. We saw Cage, jumping off the ropes, hitting springboard DDTs. They were hitting power bombs on each other, twisting maneuvers into other things. They were going all out for this match because I think they felt slighted that they weren't the main event. And I can't blame them for that. These guys definitely did a great build up in this. This was my first Slammiversary show and it was good. That's cool, Connor. These guys battled it out in the ring, back and forth. The match ends on a wrestling move. I thought it would end with all these F5s they were doing, power bombs. None of that ended the match. It actually ended when Elgin got caught, a la British Bulldog Bret Hart SummerSlam 92. Got his legs pinned down. 1, 2, 3. Cage picks up the win. The Terminator is doing his thing once again. Cage retains his championship. I give this a grade of a B. Solid match. And once again, Cage had better chemistry with Elgin than he did with Johnny Impact. If you guys have thoughts on this or can figure out a way to tell me what you thought happened in this, please let me know because I'm so confused as to what happened with the chemistry between these two. But at this point, it doesn't matter because they're not fighting each other for now. And these guys are having good matches with other people. So can't be mad. I like the moves. Now, after the match, Cage gets his title snatched, or the ref, I don't know if the ref had it or Cage had it. Elgin gets his hands on the title, and he ends up hitting Brian Cage in the head with it. He then goes over to Don Callis, and he starts mouthing back and forth to him. I don't know if there's a story going on with that. I'm not too sure. But he grabs him and puts him in the ring. He starts yelling at him, and he's going to set him up for a power bomb. The moment he does, someone hops over the gate rail, gets into the ring. He has on a black hoodie and a mask. Now, this person looks a little bit thick, and he hits a spear. I would call it more of a gore. And if you guys don't want to know who it is, maybe fast forward here or unplug for a second. But I believe after he hit that move and the guy runs back through the crowd and Don Callis gets away and goes back to the announcer's table, it looked like Rhino was the person who helped out Don Callis. So it looks like Rhino may be back in Impact Wrestling. If this is true, that is a great pickup for Impact Wrestling. It's a name that is known, another former ECW talent. You can do some stuff with him and Rob Van Dam, Sabu, whoever you need to bring in. So that's very cool. Let's see here. Elgin and Cage have good chemistry. Elgin works smart in the ring, and the Terminator's gotten better in work rate. Hubbard, when you do a run-in, have the run-in be revealed in full. If you're going to do a masked man, make it totally a mystery. We all know it's Rhino, not the best execution of a surprise. Yeah, the legs and everything else give away kind of the ending and the way he hit it. People know who it is. It doesn't matter, though. It's Rhino. It's dope. I can't really, I'm not going to complain too much about it. They really didn't have it. I think they should have just had him take the mask off, though, like Sean said, too. Like, reveal who it is so people can go crazy and cheer and get hyped for him. After this, we get into what Sean was talking about in the chat. We have the reveal for Bound for Glory. I think they've been talking about this. I knew it was in Chicago beforehand, but I don't know if that's from information I shouldn't have known. But Bound for Glory is officially announced for Sunday, October 20th in Chicago, Illinois. lots of things will be different at that point. Chicago, Illinois, Bound for Glory. Good for them, man. I absolutely want to see a stat card for that show, and I think that Impact will be able to do that, man. They have great talent, and they tell good stories. Impact needs more eyes on the product, folks. And that's why I make these videos, because I do think they put on a good product. I used to be someone who naysayed Impact Wrestling. I was done with them after the Dixie Carter stuff and going way back. They started to bring me in slowly when they started doing the Ultimate Deletion and all the stuff with Matt Hardy and everything else that was going on. And then Slammiversary, I think it was 2017. It was like a year or two ago. The one with Del Rio and Lashley in the main event. They brought me back in, and I've been trying to watch Impact Wrestling, at least the pay-per-views, more often now. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. Chicago obviously means CM Punk is going to be at Impact Wrestling. Kidding. Stop it, you. Elgin has that NJPW background in fighting matches, so the Gato booking was seen. Finish matches with wrestling. I like it, King. I like it. I also think that Elgin's Ring of Honor background really helps him a lot too. He was a hoss there. But guys, it is time. Cold Ice Killers, what is going on? I never watched TNA. Think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth the $40 price point that I believe it costs. But I do think that you should go out of your way to watch it on Twitch a couple times to see if you still like it. I would say give it a month. Like, this is the perfect point to pick up Cold as Ice and go in there, and I say watch it and give it a chance, man. Don't worry, people will say CM Punk will be there anyway. He's like Elvis at this point. King, you're funny. Cody, what's going on? Did you like the female Monster Ball match? Yes, I did, Cody. I gave it a grade of a B+. And I just gave Cage and Elgin the grade of a B. If you missed that, make sure you go back after this and check it out, man. If you guys are liking the Impact content, like I said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Your name will actually pop up across the screen if you subscribe while I'm doing this live. So I appreciate you guys. Let's get into this main event, though. Yo, who won? Thing. Check it out. We'll get into it afterwards, man. Jared Simmons, thank you, good sir, for checking it out. And I know you just joined the Everything Pro Wrestling Facebook group, so thank you very much, good sir. I appreciate you. Yes. But it's a C+ watchable product, Cold. Sami or Tara? We're going to get into it right now, Thing. The main event, Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard. These guys both come out. They enter with baseball bats as they get into the ring. Sami comes out with his traditional black one, and Tessa comes out with a gold one. Tessa Blanchard has the best theme in Impact Wrestling. I hope I'm back. Not sure what happened there. But if not, this will be uploaded as a part 2 for this. We are on the main event, Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard. They both enter with baseball bats. They come out and... Okay, perfect. Thank you, King, for letting me know that. They both enter with baseball bats. Sami has the black, Tessa has the gold. Tessa comes out like a ball of fire. She is ready to fight. She goes at it, and everything is all good until he catches her on the outside. And Sami Callihan picks her up in a powerbomb position, and as she drops down, slams her twice against the guardrail, and that's where trouble begins for Tessa Blanchard. Sami Callihan is an absolute scumbag, and he is a great heel when he is in the ring playing his part. He did what he had to do in that match. I absolutely understand, but people probably legit hate this dude for just how good of a heel he is. Sami Callihan dominates with his power throughout this match because it's a man versus woman match, and I think a lot of people... Yeah, the stream just... I don't know what happened. Refresh the stream, and you're back on if you can't see it at the moment. Thank you, King, for letting me know. Yeah, this was intergender wrestling done right, Connor. I can see that as well. They were legit going at it, though, during this, and I couldn't be mad. Like... Sometimes they say man versus woman violence isn't the best thing. I agree with that. But during this feud and build-up, they did this right. And I wasn't too mad with it. That, like I said, people wanted this to main event the show because you're dealing with two of the best performers in Impact Wrestling. So Tessa basically had to figure out how to combat Sami's power in this match. So she had to finesse him, use her quickness, speed, and basically her heart. So they get into this, and there's lots of emotion in this match with Tessa. We eventually get a ref bump, and Sami uses the bat on Tessa Blanchard, gets a near fall from a second referee who comes out. That referee gets punched right in the face out of frustration for Sami Callihan. He was not feeling that at all. And Tessa eventually uses her gold bat on him, and she beats the hell out of scumbag Sami for this. He basically gets jacked up. She hits her top rope code breaker on him, puts him down, and eventually Tessa does not get what she needs for that one. What's going on, Queen? I see you in the chat. Tessa is not able to get the victory. She locks him into her submission, the crossface, basically with his arm across, and she's yanking back on it. And you want her to get Sami to tap out. He's biting his finger, so he doesn't do it. Sami, is he going to tap? There was no blood thing. That's how you asked that. This was just... he could not tap out. So he eventually stands up with Tessa, picks her up, and he locks in like a tombstone, but instead of her legs being up here, he locks the legs over like this and drops her down onto her neck. He gets a near fall out of that. Tessa kicks out at 2, and eventually everybody's gasping. They don't know what to do. Sami's cockiness has come back to bite him because she's been taking it to him now. She gets up, and in an act of defiance, she gives him the thumbs up, thumbs down, right into his face, and that leads to a pile driver, Cactus Jack style. She is down 1, 2, 3. Sami Callihan picks up the win, which I predicted Tessa Blanchard to win too, but Sami Callihan ends up picking up the victory in this one. And everybody in Dallas, Texas gasped after that. They all thought that Tessa was going to win. I think the people wanted Tessa to win. And I was in that same boat, but I thought it was still a great match. And afterwards, I give it a grade of a B+. I thought it was very well done. Callihan afterwards leaves out the ring, and he gets back in with both the baseball bats. So he has Tessa's gold one and his black one in his hands. And he gets into the ring and looks at her. And you think that he's going to end her afterwards, after he shoves the referee out of the way and everything else. And he ends up handing Tessa her gold baseball bat and leaves her in the ring so that everybody can give her her moment. And that's pretty good of a nod, in my opinion, if that's a proper way to say that. It's a really good nod to Tessa Blanchard from Sami Callihan. He gives her the ring, points at her, and kind of once he gets to the top of the ramp, blows her a kiss, still to show he's still kind of a douchey heel. But I thought it was really, really good. Overall show grade, man, I gotta give it a B. I thought this show really delivered. They had good matches. They had the card flow right. Nothing felt like too crazy, off base. I was not saying, man, when is this show going to end? I knew it was good length. I was cool with it. So I give it an overall B. Chat, if you've got anything, please tell me what you thought of the show tonight. And if you guys haven't, make sure you guys leave a like here. Let me get back into what was said. Connor says the referees are made of glass. Brother, it's been like that since the beginning of time in wrestling. Covered Sami at House of Glory event. He's an excellent heel. I'm concerned about the kindness he showed to Tessa at the end. I know it was a respect thing, but I hope Callihan remains a heel. I think he will, because he blew her a kiss afterwards at the top of the ramp. Queen says she really enjoyed Tessa versus Sami. Shout out to Queen from Brainbuster Radio, one of my fellow compadres. You can catch her on Wednesdays on Brainbuster Radio. King says Tessa versus Sami was a great David versus Goliath match. Tessa versus Brian Cage was my favorite intergender match, but this one was great. And F Disco forever. Really, he won? Wow, Jesus. Yes, he did. Sometimes a loss does more for a win, though. Tessa winning was predictable. I like that she earned respect in a loss. Only the greats can do that. She's a superstar. I agree, Hubbard. She may be the best female in pro wrestling. King says Sami does not shake hands. He gives props. Yes. And Connor says he gives the show an overall grade of a B as well. I thank you guys for being able to join me for this. I guess this is the point to where, before I give my shout outs to everybody who joined us tonight, this is the point where I want to get to with the channel. I cannot promise you guys when this next video is going to pop up. If you guys didn't know, my wife is expected to have a baby any day now, within the next couple of weeks. I would say within the next 2 weeks. It's probably going to happen. So if you guys get a delay in Monday Night Raw, that is why it has happened. If you get a missed review for something, that's why it happened, and I will do my best to get back and make up for it. But my schedule may be changing up. Things may be a little bit more difficult to collab with people, so I just wanted to let you guys know that. King says Impact needs more watches. They least watch. Oh, they're the least watched wrestling company. They got to get into a better spot, though, King. I agree. Overall, B showed the tag match was slowed, but that was because of the injury, yes. Hubbard, thank you for the congrats. Jesus, thank you. Let's get into everybody who was in here. We had some new subscribers. They got shouted out earlier. Jared, I appreciate you for subscribing to the channel, bro. If you guys are still in here, comment so I can make sure I get your name when I get to the end, please. Juggernaut, thank you for subscribing, bro. I appreciate it, man. If you guys like Impact Wrestling and you want these reviews to continue, please subscribe to the channel. Help me get towards that 500. But let's give a shout out to Connor Knows Wrestling. Connor has a really cool podcast. If you guys want to, make sure you check him out. Hubbard, Weekly Wrestling and Combat Sports. Me and Sean have worked together in the past. We are currently working on another project together. Hubbard is someone who you guys want to go to for combat, boxing, wrestling. He's the man. Make sure you guys check him out, and I look forward to working with him in the future. King KDI, he came in here with a lot of good stuff tonight, so thank you, King, so much for being in here. Jesus De Leon, he was in here joking around. Jesus, thank you for joining us tonight. Let me see who else we had in here. Cody Fullen. Cody, thank you so much for joining us. The Thing, I appreciate you joining me tonight, man. The Queen of NE from Brainbuster Radio. Queen is on every Wednesday. Me and Queen work together. You can catch us on Brainbuster TV, on Twitch. We do a lot of work together. So thank you so much, Queen, for stopping in. Juggernaut, hey, love the channel, just sub. Thank you, Juggernaut. You are the man for that. Rob comes in. Yo, what's going on? Rob says Extreme Rules will be trash. You aren't lying. Extreme Rules is the 17th, not this coming Sunday. I believe so. I don't think it is, but I don't care. I'm looking forward to Fight for the Fallen coming up as well. Slammiversary will be better than Extreme Rules. My man Hubbard coming with the big predictions. And shout out to King, who also popped in to join us. If I missed your name, I apologize from whenever the stream cut out, but thank you guys so much for being able to join us. Like I said, the notable matches from this show, if you guys want to go back and check out any of the stuff, I would say my recommendations are Killer Kross, Eddie Edwards, the Knockouts Monsters Ball match, Rich Swann and Johnny Impact, Brian Cage, Michael Elgin, and Sami Callihan, Tessa Blanchard. Jared says he has not watched Impact in months. This was a solid pay-per-view that kind of sparked my interest again. Welcome back to Impact, Jared. Check it out. It's on twitch.tv. And while you're on there, you guys can find me. If you type in EPW Show, I have a channel, and BBR TV for Brainbuster Radio. You guys can catch me on both. WWE should drop Extreme Rules. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this live stream. I'm getting ready for work tomorrow. And like I said, I should have a Monday Night Raw review if I'm home tomorrow, so it may be up, but like I said, depending on what's going on with everything else in my life, I may miss a show or two, so I apologize for that right now. No promises at this point, but Monday Night Raw review. Hopefully tomorrow we will see the return of Rey Mysterio. Thank you guys so much for coming on to the channel, and like I said, if you guys like the stream, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I'm out. Peace.